Natural methods to manage diabetes, hypertension, chronic pain, obesity, depression, anxiety, and other conditions. We use the traditions of centuries-old natural science from India, yoga, Ayurveda, acupuncture, and naturopathy in personalized programs that help you take charge of your own health. A minimum 5-day stay is recommended for best results. Book now at yo1.com.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Gravitas with me, Modi Gambhir. Here's a look at what's lined up for you on the show tonight.
National Hero of Pakistan, Imran Khan. आवाम से ये डिमांड करता हूँ कि आज बाहर
Our cover story tonight is about an arrest, and it's not an ordinary one. Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has been arrested in Islamabad. It's been an eventful day in Pakistan, and like most things to do with this leader, the arrest as well came with a lot of drama. His party leaders called the arrest an abduction, and demonstrations have started across Pakistan. For how long will Imran Khan stay behind bars? What's the latest on the ground? We get you a detailed ground report in just a few minutes. Also on the show for you tonight, Russia is marking Victory Day with strikes on Kyiv. We tell you what the Russian leader said today. Did China spy on India-ASEAN drills? We tell you what's brewing. Israeli strikes on the Gaza Strip killed 13. We get you a Gravitas special report. We also get to the story of an 11-year-old who has higher IQ than Albert Einstein. Our cover story tonight is from Pakistan. At around 3:10 p.m. this afternoon, in a dramatic development to say the least, Pakistan police arrested Imran Khan, Pakistan's former Prime Minister, the cricket superstar. He was picked up from the Islamabad High Court, where he had gone to file a bail application in 7 cases. And the arrest seemed like a scene straight out of a movie. Have a look at these images. These are Pakistani Rangers taking a stunned Imran Khan into custody. It looked more like a gangland abduction than a political arrest. Dozens of them, dressed in combat gear from head to toe, could be seen forcefully whisking away the leader to a police van. It was truly, for the lack of a better word, a spectacle. So where exactly have they taken Imran Khan? No one knows, and that is the first big question. Why keep Imran Khan hidden? Is the Shehbaz Sharif government, which ordered the arrest, running scared of public outrage? What we do know is that he is under the custody of the NAB, that's the National Accountability Bureau of Pakistan. Next question, what are the charges against him? At present, Imran Khan is facing over 140 cases, 140 cases. They range from terrorism to blasphemy to murder to incitement of violence. But this arrest is in connection with alleged corruption. In a story that involves his wife, it's about the Al-Qadr University Trust case. Now, for the unversed, the Al-Qadr Trust was started by Imran Khan, his wife Bushra Bibi, and his close aide Babar Awan. And this trust was set up to impart quality education in the Jhelum district of Punjab province. This trust is facing an inquiry for a property settlement which allegedly caused a loss of 190 million British pounds. That's 68. That's the amount that's been reported. In fact, Imran Khan and his wife have been accused of siphoning away this money that was apparently sent by Britain's National Crime Agency. And that's not all. Imran Khan has also been accused of misusing his position as Prime Minister to get 458 canals of land allotted in this trust's name. And this inquiry has been on for quite some time, and it has now led to Imran Khan's arrest. A development that has led to massive uproar across the country. PTI leaders and supporters have flooded Twitter with posts condemning the arrest. On your screen now is a statement by Chaudhry Fawad Hussain. He has, in fact, called the arrest quote-unquote kidnapping. He says that scores of lawyers were tortured in the process, which may be an exaggeration, but it certainly is true that the police will not disclose the location where Imran Khan is being kept. The PTI leader, Faisal Javed Khan, has called the arrest illegal. He asked the human rights bodies to question the arrest and the Pakistani judiciary to intervene and hold the Shehbaz Sharif government accountable. You have to listen to this.
Former Prime Minister of Pakistan, national hero of Pakistan, Imran Khan, has been arrested illegally from within the premises of the court exactly when he was appearing before the judge for his bail. This is unacceptable. This should be unacceptable to the courts as well. We demand from the judiciary to intervene and take action against those who arrested him. People of Pakistan have rejected this illegal arrest. It is not acceptable to them. Is there rule of jungle in this country? We must raise our voice. We must stand with the fundamental human rights of the people, and judiciary must intervene. It is also contempt of the court. When they arrested him, there was no case against him. And he was appearing for his bail before the judge, and exactly before that, they arrested him. So we demand from the judiciary to take action against those who arrested him. And also we demand from the human rights organization all across the world to raise their voice.
So essentially, the PTI leaders are issuing statements and the PTI supporters have taken to the streets. This is what Pakistan has been looking like through the day. Look at these images. They are from Lahore. And this evening, a sea of protesters gathered at the city's Liberty Chowk, demonstrating against the arrest of Imran Khan. And in another set of images coming in from Lahore, the protesters can be seen storming the home of a corps commander. They also apparently gathered outside the army headquarters and hurled stones before breaking into the premises. And we wonder how the army will react to this direct attack on its officials and institutions. And there were similar protests in Karachi. PTI supporters staged a protest march, which was disrupted by the Sindh police. And the visuals we have been getting in show the police officials firing tear gas on the protesters as the media personnel around them could be seen running for cover. And these, by the way, were just 2 cities. Last we checked, demonstrations erupted in Peshawar as well, also Karak, Multan, also Quetta. Protesters in all these parts are calling upon the judiciary to save their quote-unquote hero and punish the government. So has the judiciary responded is the immediate question? Well, it has. The Chief Justice of the Islamabad High Court, in fact, who is believed to be pro-Imran Khan, has ordered the Interior Ministry Secretary and the Islamabad Police Chief to appear in court, according to a report in the Pakistan Daily Dawn. And the Chief Justice said that he was showing restraint for now. But he would summon the Pakistani Prime Minister if the Islamabad Police Chief did not appear before the court. And again, last we checked, the Prime Minister, Shehbaz Sharif, was not visible in public. Where exactly is he? He is busy, though, sending tweets from Islamabad. Have a look at this one, for example. He posted this one immediately after Imran Khan's arrest, accusing him of maligning Pakistani institutions and the country's intelligence agencies and leadership. Let me just quote. I have no doubt that white lies, misrepresentations, statements and vicious attacks on institutions are the introduction of your politics. Your attitude is like bending the judiciary to your whims and saying law does not apply to me. It should be clear that as a former Prime Minister facing the ongoing corruption trial, you want the legal and political system to be disrupted. In your knowledge, Pakistan has become a jungle. So I would advise you not to stay here because the facts are often bitter and destructive. So Imran Khan is behind bars and Imran Khan's supporters are out on the streets. Government leaders are celebrating online. Some of the most senior judges are warning the government and the Prime Minister is busy sending out tweets. This is what Pakistan looks like as of now. But what happens next? Where are things headed from here onwards? Well, it's tough to say as of now. Like I said, there are a total of 140 cases against Imran Khan. And now that he has been arrested, expect the legal process to begin in many cases. For months, Imran Khan has been delaying the judicial process through what can only be called non-cooperation, by refusing to accept the summons, all in the hope that he could drag the process till the time of the next general election, which he, of course, expects to win. In Pakistan, winners don't face charges, but since he is in opposition, expect more charges to be framed against him. And I say that because Pakistan has a long history that proves that age-old saying, uneasy lies the head which wears the crown. It is a history of coups, of throwing past premiers and presidents into isolated prisons, or, if they are lucky, into exile. One leader, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, was hanged to death in what was called a judicial murder. And today his grandson, Bilawal Bhutto, is among those who have ordered Imran Khan's arrest. And Imran Khan has joined this honors roll in a murky pseudo-democracy. You see, politics is never a friendly match anywhere. And in Pakistan particularly, it is a deadly game. And to discuss this and more, joining us on the broadcast this minute is our Pakistan Bureau Chief, Anas Malik. Anas, tell us more about the situation on the ground. And is this now becoming Imran Khan versus the army in addition to what has been Imran Khan versus Shehbaz Sharif?
Well, it was never Imran Khan versus Shehbaz Sharif. If you look at it, from the time he was ousted, he had always made this fight about his battle with the establishment and with the powerful country's establishment. So, largely speaking, to answer the first part of your question, Molly, yes, it looks like that this is Imran Khan versus the powerful establishment where he and his supporters have gone rogue. There have been admissions made on the record by the former army chief General Qamar Javed Bajwan, that how they had nurtured Project Imran Khan and now how he has gotten rogue and out of control. So largely speaking, this looks like a continuation of that. Day before yesterday, remember, Imran Khan had issued a statement that had targeted senior intelligence officials, naming them, and this morning he alluded that the entire institution was behind what he says or believes was a conspiracy to have him killed, not once but twice. Yesterday we saw a hard-hitting statement coming in from the Pakistani military's PR wing, saying and clarifying that these allegations hold no truth. And today he was arrested in a very frivolous case, if one were to put it that way, because he was already at the Islamabad High Court and Imran Khan saw this coming. It won't be wrong to say the situation right now, it remains grim. As I talked to you just a short while back before we went on air, we heard that mobile networks across the country were put out and there are blanket instructions to put out Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. These three social networking websites are now not accessible in Pakistan without a virtual private network, or VPN as we say it. Additionally, mobile data is not working since the day. Throughout the day we've seen that mobile data has not been working, and there have been protests, widespread, some turning violent as well, most of them around cantonment areas in Lahore, in Karachi, in Peshawar, in Quetta, in Multan, in Faisalabad. The Faisalabad protest has turned violent. The government says that it would not be allowing anyone to take the law and order situation into their hands. But the bigger question, Molly, is that where is the government? The Prime Minister, up until this afternoon, he was in London having a breakfast. Who is in charge? That is the question, and that question nobody has an answer to. Molly?
Well, a number of unanswered questions at this point, but we are leaving it there for the moment. Anas, we're going to let you go. Thanks very much for now and for those quick updates. Shifting focus for now to Russia. This morning, it celebrated its 78th Victory Day, a day that marks the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany. And for the Russians, it was on this day, the 9th of May, that Nazi Germany surrendered in the Second World War. Then Soviet leader Joseph Stalin declared a holiday for the day. A victory parade was held on Red Square featuring German insignia. And since then, the 9th of May has been celebrated as Victory Day by consecutive Russian leaders. And for Vladimir Putin, this day has become a muscular display of not only military prowess, but also of Russia's latest weaponry, including warplanes, tanks, and nuclear-capable ballistic missiles. Especially now, when Russia is at war with Ukraine. So the Russian president wasted no effort in turning this day into a spectacle. He made sure that the parade, although a bit scaled down due to security concerns, looked like an exhibition of patriotism. According to reports, more than 10,000 people and 125 units of various types of weapons and equipment were displayed at this year's parade. And this included armored vehicles. But the main focus was the country's S-400 air defense system and its intercontinental ballistic system. If we speak of the attendees now, despite a decline in Russia's global standing since the war started, Putin was surrounded by at least 6 post-Soviet leaders during the parade, and this included the president of Kazakhstan, the Tajik president, the Uzbek leader, Kyrgyzstan's president, also the Armenian prime minister, also the Belarusian president, of course. And in the presence of these leaders, Vladimir Putin gave a combative 10-minute-long speech. What did he say? Well, he attacked Western countries, of course. He claimed that Russia's future depends on this war. He said that Western globalist elites, quote-unquote, were sowing the seeds of Russophobia and aggressive nationalism, while the Ukrainian people, who had become hostages to a state coup, quote-unquote, and also to the ambitions of the West. Here are a few excerpts from that address.
Today,
civilization is once again at a crucial turning point. A real war has once again been unleashed against our homeland, but we have fought back against international terrorism. We will also protect the people of the Donbass and ensure our security. The Western globalist elites, however, still preach about their exceptionalism. They are pitting people against each other and dividing society, provoking bloody conflicts and coups, sowing hatred, Russophobia, aggressive nationalism, destroying the traditional family values that make people people. Unbounded ambitions, arrogance, and permissiveness inevitably lead to tragedy. This is precisely the reason for the catastrophe that the Ukrainian people are currently experiencing. They have become hostages of a coup d'etat and the criminal regime of their Western masters who took hold in its place, a bargaining chip in the execution of their cruel, self-serving plans.
And shortly before that speech, Russia rained missiles down on Ukraine as if to send out a message to the country's leadership once again. A total of 60 drones were fired. Most of them were of Iranian origin, and they struck cities all over Ukraine. Reports say it was one of the biggest volleys of missiles and drones yet. The destruction too was unprecedented, to say the least. Have a look at these images. They are from Odessa, and they show firefighters tackling a huge blaze in what was said to be a food warehouse. Odessa officials reported 3 people wounded and 1 person missing. Have a look at these images now. They show the scale of destruction in the eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut. And the video shows damaged buildings and heavy plumes of smoke rising over the city immediately after the strikes unfolded. And in Kyiv, it was the same situation. Scores of people were injured when drone wreckage fell over the city. And this particular video shows a high-rise residential apartment building with a gazing hole. Overall, the strikes hit a total of 127 targets. They killed a total of 4 people and injured dozens of others. And this was by far one of the biggest Russian offensives in recent months. An offensive that coincided with Russia's Victory Day celebrations. And through these strikes, Russia has made one thing absolutely clear, that no matter what the Western press says about the gains and the losses in this war, Moscow is in it for the long haul. And our next story is about the India-ASEAN drills. India and the ASEAN countries conducted week-long maritime drills. 9 ships, 6 aircraft, more than 1,800 personnel were involved. And on the very last day, the naval ships were in Vietnamese exclusive economic zone. That is when a flotilla of Chinese vessels tried to stalk them. At least 5 Chinese boats, followed by an additional Chinese research vessel, were originally headed southeast, but they took an unusual 90-degree turn and started moving southwest. And this course led them directly towards the India-ASEAN maritime exercises. Let me tell you, these were no ordinary boats. They belong to a Chinese militia fleet, and such militias usually consist of commercial fishing boats. They may seem harmless on the face, but in truth, they work in coordination with the Chinese authorities. And why is that? For spying and for stalking. And they are known to sabotage maritime drills in the South China Sea. The Chinese boats crossed India-ASEAN warships without any face-off, but they did interrupt the exercises. The pattern was broken. Some vessels had to change their directions. At one point, the Chinese research vessel came as close as 16 kilometers to the participating Vietnamese warship. And why is that? Was Beijing using the militia to intimidate the ASEAN countries? And did it intend to disrupt the naval exercise? After all, China has always been possessive about the South China Sea. It has claimed majority of the sea as its own, and it's extremely sensitive to other military presence. And this, of course, was not the first time Chinese vessels did something like this. Only 2 weeks ago, a Chinese Coast Guard ship almost collided with a Philippine patrol vessel. And this happened in the disputed second Thomas Shoal. The Beijing Coast Guard sent a number of radio warnings asking the Filipino ship to leave. And after a rather heated exchange, it came as close as 36 to 46 meters to the Filipino ship, which steered just in time to avoid the disaster. And this came at a time when the Philippines was conducting military exercises with the United States. And before this, a huge Chinese Navy ship shadowed 2 Philippine patrol vessels. The incident happened in the dead of night. The Filipino ships cruised near Subi. For those unversed, Subi is a barren reef that China has transformed into a missile-protected island base. The Chinese Navy ship radioed the Philippine vessels to immediately leave and keep out the ships steamed away, but only after asserting Philippines' sovereign rights to the area. You see, such skirmishes keep happening in the South China Sea, and why not? It is, after all, one of the world's busiest shipping routes. Almost 1/3 of global maritime crude oil trade passes through it, and the sea remains hotly contested, China being the most aggressive claimant, of course. The country, in fact, has been trying very hard to expand its influence. It has deployed military, increased naval presence, established administrative units in the disputed areas, even constructed artificial islands. And these islands are equipped with runways and ports, among other facilities. I already told you about Subi. Other than that, there are Fiery Cross Reef, Mischief Island, and Corteronchi Reef. In fact, China is growing increasingly intolerant of other countries' military presence in the South China Sea, to the point that it is intimidating the warships and trying to sabotage maritime drills. Our next story is on the Israel-Palestine tensions. Tel Aviv has confirmed that Israel has launched a major offensive against the militants in the Gaza Strip. At least 13 people have lost their lives, including 3 commanders of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. And the Islamic Jihad has vowed revenge. Reports say Gaza will respond with rocket fire. Where are things headed, and will this result in more flare-ups between the two sides? Our next report getting you all the details.
Debris spread across footpaths. Belongings torn apart. The Gaza Strip woke up to multiple airstrikes in the early hours of the day. 40 Israeli warplanes pounded the strip for 2 hours. Several waves of airstrikes killed 13 people, including 3 top commanders of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Who were these commanders? The first is Jihad Shekhar al-Ghanem, who was the secretary of the Al-Quds Brigade's military council. There was Khalil Salah al-Batini, the senior operational officer of the Islamic Jihad, and Tariq Muhammad Ezzedine. The Israeli forces said that the operation, codenamed Operation Shield and Arrow, was specifically targeted at the Islamic Jihad members because they were responsible for the recent rockets fired on Israel. Israel's airstrikes damaged 10 weapons manufacturing sites and 6 Islamic Jihad military facilities. In a show of pride, the Israeli Defense Forces said that the operation achieved what they wanted to achieve. Al-Quds Brigades, the armed wing of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad, has said that while it mourns the death of its leaders, the resistance will continue. The attack comes after Israelis bombarded several parts of Gaza, including Al-Safina, Al-Bedar, and the Zaytun neighborhood. The Islamic Jihad is responsible for multiple attacks on Israel and has sworn to carry out Israel's destruction. Eli Cohen, Israel's foreign affairs minister, had to recently cut short his India trip in the wake of the latest developments. Israel's military has also warned its residents living within 40 kilometers of Gaza. Residents have been told to stay close to designated bomb shelters. Israel's defense ministry has also closed crossings with Gaza, the very crossing used by people to enter and exit. Where are things headed? Will the tensions flare up further? Bureau Report, WION World is One.
All through last week on Gravitas London edition, we got you ground reports from London on the coronation of King Charles, which took place on the 6th of May. We told you all about the preparations, the sentiment on the ground, the anti-monarchy protests, the Not My King movement, also the questions that have been raised over spending millions on a ceremony at a time when the UK has been dealing with a cost of living crisis. And just as the coronation fever starts to fade, King Charles III faces fresh challenges. Remember, he is not just Britain's king, he is also the monarch of 14 Commonwealth realms. But many of them are no longer under the spell of monarchy. Queen Elizabeth's days were different, you see, but now King Charles is on the throne and some countries are crying, "Not my king." And which countries are these? Those in the Caribbean. To begin with, there is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves wants to see his country dump the monarchy. But it's not clear if his Republican views are popular among his people. In 2009, in fact, a majority of the population voted in favor of the royals. They wanted to keep Queen Elizabeth as the head of their state. But then again, this is the Queen that we are talking about, and it was about 14 years ago. King Charles does not enjoy the same support. And Gonsalves is seeking an apology from the monarch for his family's past injustices. And the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Terence Drew, also echoed a similar opinion. His country will also be debating about becoming a republic. The Premier claims St. Kitts and Nevis cannot be totally free until it breaks its links with the British monarchy. You see, in 1623, St. Kitts became the first successful English colony in the Caribbean. Neighbouring Nevis also met the same fate. This was in 1628. Sugar cultivation was established on both islands, and they were called the mother colony of the West Indies. The English enslaved people of St. Kitts and Nevis to work on sugar plantations. The country got rid of British rule in 1983, but it remained part of the Commonwealth and retained the British monarch as the head of state. And on the eve of the coronation, Jamaica and Belize also announced similar intentions. In fact, the Belizean Premier, Johnny Bresseno, said that it was quite likely that his country would be the next Commonwealth country to become a republic. As Britons were reveling in the coronation festivities, there was absolutely no excitement in the air in Belize. The very same day, Jamaica announced that it was time to say goodbye to the monarchy, and the country plans to hold a referendum on changes to its constitution. The government stressed that time had come for the country's future to be in Jamaican hands. And it's not just the Caribbean, by the way. Other Commonwealth countries have expressed similar views as well. Look at this Lord Ashcroft poll. It shows what the countries actually think of the monarchy. Many want to remove the king as the head of state and become a republic. And the sentiment is most pronounced in the Solomon Islands, as 59% of the people want to dump the monarchy. And then there is the Bahamas, with 51%, Jamaica 49%, Canada and Antigua and Barbuda at 47%, Papua New Guinea and St. Kitts and Nevis at 45%, Belize at 43%, and Australia and Grenada with 42% of the people wanting to sever ties with the monarchy. You see, King Charles now has the crown, but he also has the sovereign's orb, scepter, and coronation ring. But clearly, he does not have the same hold over the Commonwealth or even the UK. The celebrations have now subsided, and he now faces the harsh realities. Will King Charles be able to boost the popularity of the monarchy, or will it sink to its demise? Only time will tell. Do you remember Captain America, the Marvel hero who defied mortality, woke up after 70 years and survived being frozen all that while? What if I told you that this could happen in real life as well? And that Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, has signed up for something similar. What is this all about? And why would he do that? Our next report telling you.
Is it possible to defy mortality? The fact that we are going to die one day. The fact that our life comes with an expiry date only makes us human. But what if there was a way to defy death? What if what worked for Captain America could work for us in real life? This method is called cryogenic preservation. What exactly does it mean? What does it have to do with PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel? Cryogenic freezing is a process which is performed on dead humans. For this process to be performed, an individual needs to sign up for it in advance. It is a type of low-temperature freezing carried out by a medical team that stores the organic remains of the body using ice water. The dead body is then oxygenated using masks and is put on a machine similar to a heart-lung bypass. This is done to circulate blood and maintain oxygen. A solution is pumped into the dead body, which essentially works like an antifreeze. This is done to stop body tissues from turning into ice crystals, so that there is minimum structural damage. The body is then placed in a liquid nitrogen chamber at a temperature as low as -320 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it is cold enough, the body is transferred to a thermos-like tank filled with liquid nitrogen, where it'll stay for the foreseeable future. What happens next? These bodies wait in these tanks until medical technology is able to revive them. Among those who have signed up for this process is billionaire Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal. Thiel has agreed to be cryogenically preserved when he dies. When asked about the same, he responded saying, "Yes, but I think of it more as an ideological statement. I don't necessarily expect it to work, but I think it's the sort of thing we're supposed to try to do." This technology costs roughly around $28,000 per person. But after spending such a hefty amount, why is Peter Thiel skeptical about its success? The thing about this technology is that it is still a work in progress. There are three major challenges that it faces. 1. It needs to repair the damage done by freezing. 2. There is an additional burden to cure whatever ailment originally killed the subject. And 3. It will have to reverse the aging process so that the subject has a young, healthy body. Difficult, isn't it? Thiel is not the only one to be betting big on life-extending technologies. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, recently invested $180 million in a project that aims to extend the human lifespan by 10 years. With rapid advancements in AI, the threat of AI taking over the human race is also advancing. With more and more people signing up for technologies that aim to expand our lifespan, will the human dream to be immortal become a reality? Bureau Report, WION. World is One.
Our next story is about the perseverance of an 11-year-old girl. A girl who was diagnosed with autism at the age of 3. She had a difficult childhood. She got bullied, felt excluded, but she never gave up. And today, this very girl has an IQ more than that of Albert Einstein and Stephen Hawking. You heard that right. Meet Adhara Perez Sanchez, who is making waves globally with her exceptional intelligence. Adhara's IQ, that is intelligence quotient, was measured at an astonishing 162. And why do I call it astonishing? That is because Albert Einstein and Stephen Hawking had an IQ score of 160, which made both these scientists near geniuses. But what makes Adhara's story unique is not her IQ only, perhaps it is her perseverance, her ability to fight against all odds in life and come out stronger. Adhara has not had an easy childhood. She grew up in a low-income neighborhood. When she was 3, she was diagnosed with autism, a developmental disability caused by differences in the brain. And with this, of course, came numerous challenges, particularly at school. She was also bullied by her classmates. She had difficulty in socializing. And as a result of this, she started to isolate herself. But when people around her were doubting her, Adhara's mother noticed something very different. It was her love for mathematics. And Adhara's talent in mathematics was special. She self-taught herself algebra, memorized the periodic table, and this made her mother enroll her in a special school, a school for gifted children. And what happened next is creating a lot of buzz around the world. Adhara's IQ was tested at this school, and the score measured 162. From a very young age, Adhara developed a passion for space exploration. It all started when she saw Stephen Hawking's artwork. And any guesses where she saw it? It was at her doctor's office. And since then, there was no turning back for her. Adhara decided to explore the red planet. It became her inseparable dream. And at the age of 5, just 5 years old, she finished elementary school, and at 6, she was done with high school. Imagine, when most kids are still clearing their grade 1 exams, Adhara was already a high school pass out. In fact, it doesn't stop here. This young girl is set to receive a master's degree in engineering. She already holds a bachelor's degree in systems engineering and is currently pursuing a master's program in mathematics. This very girl, who was once bullied because she was differently abled, she has not only confined herself to her education, she actively is involved in promoting maths and science among girls her age. And to serve this purpose, she is working with the Mexican Space Agency. Not just that, she wants to colonize Mars as well. In a recent interview, she said, "I want to go to space and colonize Mars. If you don't like where you are, imagine where you want to be. I see myself at NASA, so it's worth a try." And as I speak, Adhara is working on finishing her G tests. And if she passes, these tests will open up the doors of NASA for her. Adhara will then join NASA as a young scientist and become the first autistic person to fly. Can you guess her age by then? She will be only 17 years old, just 17. From specially challenged to specially gifted, Adhara's story is perhaps a reminder on how setbacks can be turned into comebacks. Our next story is about Mark Zuckerberg. You know him as the CEO of Meta, and you know that he has been trying his best to firefight controversies plaguing Facebook and Instagram. Well, he does have impressive combative skills, quite literally. What makes me say that? Zuckerberg has bagged a gold and silver medal in Jiu-Jitsu. He also shared pictures of that fight and of the moment when he won. Our next report telling you more.
Jiu-Jitsu, derived from the Japanese words Jiu and Jitsu, meaning gentle and art, is a ground-based martial art. It's known to be based on the principles of leverage, angles, pressure, and timing. Meta CEO Zuckerberg is on the road to master this art. The now medal-winning martial artist won gold and silver medals at his first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament in California. How did this happen? Well, the 38-year-old tech billionaire started practicing well in advance. Zuckerberg says he was invested in the art during the COVID pandemic, a time when everyone was picking up a new hobby. In a post on Instagram, the billionaire said that he completed his very first Jiu-Jitsu tournament and won medals for the Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu team. Zuckerberg made his coach proud with the win. Coach Kai the Shadow Wu congratulated his student and said that the tournament was not easy. Wu stood proud and said it was an honor to coach Zuckerberg. The 38-year-old has been praised by many high-profile athletes, like former UFC champion Conor McGregor. Five-time World Jiu-Jitsu champion Bernardo Faria congratulated the tech giant turned athlete on his win. Zuckerberg has now joined a league of celebrities in the martial arts space. Many famous people like Hollywood actors Ashton Kutcher, Jason Statham, and Tom Hardy have brown and purple belts in the sport. British comedian Russell Brand also has a purple belt. So why are celebrities choosing martial arts? There are many stated life-changing benefits. First, weight loss. Sports like Jiu-Jitsu work every single muscle in your body. Unlike workouts in the gym, martial arts keep your brain busy as you keep learning new techniques. The sport helps relieve stress. The focus is that Jiu-Jitsu demands can melt away all your other worries. It allows a person to blow off some steam. As the sport is aggressive in nature, Jiu-Jitsu can also help enhance your problem-solving skills. Like any other form of martial art, Jiu-Jitsu demands precision and technique. A fighter has to predict the other's next move and plan a counter-attack. It's almost like a game of chess. Self-defense training also helps you to socialize. Learning the sport with other fighters builds a sense of community. You enjoy the process and your partners learn along with you. So, would you consider joining a dojo? Maybe fight a match with one of the big names like Zuckerberg. We never know what the future holds. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
On that note, it's a wrap on this edition tonight. We are leaving you with Gravitas images. Thanks very much for watching.
I love Christmas. Gravitas tells you stories which others won't. And tonight we will tell you about this new strategic map that is being drawn.
They say your enemy's enemy is your friend. Is that the foundation of the new defense bridge